friends, Simit here from InformedTrades.com. Just want to start today, the new year, January 2nd, 2014, off with each morning a chart review. Basically, this is my perspective on how I review the charts. This is exactly what I go through in my trading. Hopefully some of you find it useful. Of course, if you have any questions or other perspectives you want to add, you can do so on Informed Trades. Okay, so basically I'm logged into the FXCM trading station, and I just go through the charts on a daily pattern. So I switch, make sure I'm looking at the daily time frame. Zoom out. Get a good view. So we start with euro dollar, big move down today. Two indicators I'll always plot are the 50 simple moving average and the 200 exponential moving average. Here's the 50. More calculations, put that at 50. Okay, and exponential moving average. Look at that at 200. Modify the properties. Probably a little too much. I like to make these lines a little thicker. There we go. The same for the 200. Change the line width to 3. And let's see if we can change the color to, I like this for the 200 EMA. And the 50 will change the color as well. To, let's say, this. Okay. Okay, so we are coming near the 50 SMA on the euro dollar after a big pullback here. Going to draw some Fibonacci retracement. I always go freehand. Start here. Oh, what happened? And we could go all the way up to here, but I actually would kind of prefer here, which I think is more meaningful. Okay, so 38, let me actually adjust that because I don't really look at the 38. So we'll remove that. And actually, parameters. And oh, here we go. I want to change the color. We'll go with purple. We'll make it dashed, and we'll make it a little bit thicker. There we go. Okay. Oh, I did not remove 38.2. I thought I did. Okay. So I would like to see a 50% retracement. Let's see if we move this up to the top. Does that bring us any closer? A little bit, but I'd still like to see a little more. And I would like to go here. Let's see. We could also add a horizontal line. There's support here. I like to have the horizontal lines are the ones that I personally look at the most, so I'll make them nice and thick. stick out the most. Okay, so this is interesting. Perhaps an opportunity is coming soon. We are near at, this is a support level identified. It's at the 38.2 retracement. I have mixed feelings on entering. I'm willing to add to a position of 38.2. To enter the initial position, I'd like to see a 50 retracement level. But we do have support here. So that's something that is interesting. So this is something, in any event, I wouldn't want to enter on a big red candle like this. So it is something to potentially come back to tomorrow. So I will just make a note of this, have a pen and paper, or, you could switch screens if you got another screen or something to that effect to note what you're going to come back to. And I'll usually post something about things I'm looking at on my blog on Informed Trades. So that's also some way of noting, what to look at. Then when you come back tomorrow, you can start at what you've noted that you're going to look at. So this is personally, I want to see how this candle shapes up, and then tomorrow how the candle is developing by, 8 a.m. New York time, which is, 1 p.m. GMT, to see how the position is developing, how that current candle is developing. So no action to take here. Okay, pound dollar, switching to that. This is still in an uptrend, and I need to see a larger retracement. Need to see a retracement to add a horizontal line right here, at least, right? What is this? We'll set this as default. Here we go. So basically, I don't want to short. It's an uptrend. I'm not interested in going against the trend. However, to buy, I need to see it at fall back to support. Nothing really to do on pound dollar until that occurs. Euro yen. Just going down the list here. This is what I proceed with every morning. Same situation. Euro yen has been on a tear, as the daily chart shows here. We do see signs of reversal, and there may be some traders who are interested in a counter trend opportunity here. I am not one of them. I like to trade with the trend. This trend, one thing I would be interested, especially in this type of scenario where there's no real, you don't really see support and resistance within, going back to almost a year. We don't see, March of 2013 is what we can see on our screen now. There's no resistance, from where we are now, or no support to fall back to, right? So it's like if you're looking for a pullback to enter on this one, where's the support level? There's no real support level there. So one thing I'd like to do here is Fibonacci. So we started here. You could say this is where the move started. Oh, keep making that mistake. And go all the way up to here. Less interest in the 38.2. I'll make sure I save it this time. It says default, yes. Okay, there we go. So this gives us an idea, and here we see confluence of the 50% moving average and the 50 simple moving average and the 50% retracement of this move. We're still clearly pretty far away from that. What's this? At least 500 pips, so probably closer to 600 pips, 550. So it's a waiting game for Euro Yen. Now, like I mentioned, you could argue here there's a great counter trend setup, shorting here. Here was a candlestick that could have signaled potential short. I'm not interested in that personally. Of course, that's not a criticism of that type of strategy. It's just not for me. It may be for you. Dollar yen, same scenario. We're gonna see the same thing on all the yen pairs. So I can just move, and when I see something like that, I know I will still check just in case. There will be some pairs that may offer an opportunity. But usually you'll see, or often you'll see the same. One currency has the same pattern against many other currencies. So the yen, I expect to see, we're going to see this type of trend where maybe the trend is weakening a little bit. But I'm looking for the pullback, so none of these things are going to be really interesting to me. Perhaps the counter trend traders will be interested. Here's pound yen, same thing. Aussie yen. Okay, Aussie yen, this is something that I've been interested in. We see now here we see a break. We don't have that similar pattern that we saw in euro yen. So just to show an example, here's Aussie yen. Now, euro yen and pound yen looked more like that, right? Aussie yen, this is too choppy for me. So I actually made a mistake. Whenever we see this type of range and there's moving averages are congested, it's I want to see clear trends. So I'm not entering this, and I've learned the hard way. Going back to October, I got stopped out a couple times. I really should have just waited. It was a foolish mistake on my part. But I'll wait till a clear trend emerges. I'm personally expecting a buyout, a bullish breakout, because of my belief in yen weakness that is due. But we'll see what the chart says. And once a trading opportunity clearly manifests, up or down, we can sort of take it accordingly. Dollar Swiss, okay. So we're clearly in a downtrend. We've pulled back to the 50 moving average. Let me draw a Fibonacci retracement line here. Dollar Swiss is going to be very similar to euro dollar. In fact, often I don't look at dollar Swiss. I'll just look at euro dollar. Same idea usually. But sometimes, even though it's the same idea, you might like a certain pattern or a certain candlestick better. You might find the risk reward slightly better or more conducive to a setup that you're comfortable with on one pair versus the other. So it can be worth checking out both. Let's look at let's draw some Fibonacci retracement lines going from here down to here. Okay, so we are at the 50% Fibonacci retracement line here. Let's add a horizontal support. I probably should do that first, and we'll do that freehand. Here is one level I'd look at. And here's another level I'd look at. Here. Okay. In this type of scenario, and this is also something to worth note. If we see, I don't want to enter. This candle is so strong, and we saw this on euro dollar also. This candle is so strong. I don't want to enter a contrary position on a candle this strong. So I definitely want to wait until tomorrow. But tomorrow, and in our daily review tomorrow, this will be something that I mentioned. Let's see. Remember this. We see this dollar Swiss. Now, if we look at euro dollar, same thing, right? Same idea. So tomorrow, I kind of like the dollar Swiss pattern a little more. It goes back to the 50% moving average. Of course, it always depends on where you start your measure from. But tomorrow I'll definitely be interested in seeing how the candlestick shaped up, how the candlestick tomorrow in midday is progressing. And if it looks favorable, I will certainly place an order on that. Aussie dollar. Also, this is now, it's been range bound. It looks like this could be accumulation. We could be preparing to head back up. However, the trend is still clearly down. We're still very far below the moving averages. The moving averages are sloped down. So I don't really want to take on a bullish position, although counter trend traders may find an opportunity. And this is something, because I see this so often, it is something I'm interested in exploring, but not yet. Perhaps in time. Euro Swiss. Okay, Euro Swiss. And we now have some signs of a bullish trend. So we've broken above the 50 and the 200, 50 SMA, 200 EMA. It still looks a little choppy. Euro Swiss is another pair I don't really like to trade because it generally tends to be so range bound, not much of a trend, and I think we're seeing that here as well. So disqualified on grounds of being range bound. Euro pound, I currently have a position in. It's a bearish position. The position is going in my favor. I will look to add to it on a pullback. So let's see where I might add to it. And this is where the 38.2 Fibonacci may be of interest to me. So we start here. If we can go, if we were to see here, and let's add the 38.2. Oh. What happened here? 38.2. Okay. Okay. So yeah. And let's also add our support. What happened here? Oh. Excuse me. Oh, I selected add line instead of add trend line. That was my silly mistake. There we go. Okay, so we have confluence. We see this support level, which the market clearly bounced off of. That's one of the major things I'm looking for in support and resistance analysis. So what are levels that the market clearly bounced off of? Here we clearly see this. It came down here, shot up. This part sort of sticks out on a chart. I like to see that as a potential support and resistance level. The market will have a memory there. It also coincides with a 38.2 Fibonacci retracement level. So if Euro Pound, we're in this downtrend, I'm already in the position. If it were to pull back here, I might look to add to a position. So that's sort of what I'm thinking about with Euro Pound. Nothing to do at this point, and the position's going on in my favor. Just allow it to ride. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. This is still choppy price action, right? We see it's in a range. It looked like it, is it going to break out? It's still below the 50. It's above the 200 EMA. So I don't think there's been a clear trend developing on this yet. If it breaks south, let's actually at least draw the trend. Horizontal line. We might say the top is here. We might say the bottom is, let's say, here. Okay. So if we can break out of either one of these ranges, if we go out here, I might be interested in taking a long position. Break out here, interested in short position. At this point, though, the direction is unclear, at least according to my analysis. Dollar Canada. So we're in an uptrend. Is there an opportunity to add? Doesn't really seem like it. Let's see. We'll start with some support resistance levels. Right, this sticks out clearly here. And I'm mainly looking at this level here. So if we can pull back to 105.18, I might be interested. That's something that I think would be compelling. Now, if we draw Fibonacci, we start here. We go all the way up here. And we have some confluence. So now this is also looking interesting. So this is something that I'll, want to note down, just to say to myself, keep an eye out on this. Euro dollar and dollar Canada are two pairs that, in today's analysis, I want to be keeping an eye out on. Okay. Moving on. Pound dollar. Okay. This is clearly in an uptrend. I'm not in this trend or trade, unfortunately. Obviously, it'd be nice to be riding this uptrend. But we'll see. If there's a pullback, perhaps around here at least. Let's see what the Fibonacci tells us. We don't really have a clear support level to identify on a pullback that we could enter from. However, we see a breakout from around here. If we did Fibonacci analysis, so maybe if we pull back to here, 108, 180.20, right, 1.8020, around that level, might be interesting to see how the candlesticks are behaving there. Okay, let's see. And I like to add a number of these pairs. Oh. Okay. Pound Swiss, you know, big move up. Still not, gotta wait for the pullback, you know, and that might come. Where might that come? Here, maybe. In either event, you know, it's not that. This is not the. Once I see something like this, it's not. I'm not that interested, because I need to see a clear pullback at some point. And we're just at this point, we're just zooming upwards. So maybe once it starts to turn, I'll get an idea. Euro Aussie, same situation. It is starting to turn. You know, counter trend traders may be interested in shorting. Euro Canada. Okay. Now this could be interesting. Euro Canada. Okay. Let's see what Fibonacci tells us. Okay. So we're now basically at the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. However, and this is a trade I was set to go long here, but I didn't get my order filled, unfortunately. Excuse me. So I missed out on this move that I should have been in, but I just missed getting filled here, right? So after this long candle, I had my entry order right around here. However, it never came back. It came within a few pips, but that doesn't make a difference because I didn't get filled. But now up here, there may be an opportunity. We'll see how the candlesticks shape up, but right now, what's this? 44.22 on Euro Canada, and these are also, you know, I'll be making a note of this. And like I mentioned, I like to post charts about this on Informed Trades, things I'm keeping an eye on, as well as the precise trade setup when it comes. Okay, Euro Canada. That's something that over the next couple days, this week, you know, if we fall back to this level, if the candlestick show that buyers are defending this level, maybe an interesting trade opportunity. Let's see, Canada. Nope, still need to see a pullback. You know, this is a bear trend, so still need to see a pullback to at least, probably more, but just to draw support resistance in the interest of being thorough. Yeah, probably more of a pullback would be needed, but at least 95.80. And CAD Yen. That's running away. We saw the same thing with Euro Yen, Pound Yen. Kiwi Yen. Okay. Now, this is still running away. Let's see where, at least draw our levels. And, okay. So, if we could pull back to 84, 81, that might be interesting. Let's see, Fibonacci retracement, where that takes us. So we start from the base here, go all the way up here. Let's add a 38.2, just out of curiosity. Okay. So, personally, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable entering unless we pull back to here. And this also is a support and resistance level. Add that. Right, yeah. So bounce off here, bounced off here, had some bounce off here. But yeah, 83.64 around that. You know, we have a 50% Fibonacci retracement from this big up. It's a big move up, as well as a horizontal support level, as well as the 50 simple moving average. This is the type of confluence. We have three factors: Fibonacci retracement level, horizontal support, and the 50 simple moving average. If we can get there in due time before the average changes, that could be a really interesting opportunity. We're still pretty far away, so plenty of time to. It's highly unlikely that, you know, we'd be down here tomorrow. So we still have some more time on this. Something to keep in the back of our heads. Excuse me. Okay. Pound Canadian dollar, no real opportunity here. Mark's just trending. Counter trend traders, like I mentioned, you'll see a number of that, but I'm just looking for opportunities to go with the trend. New Zealand dollar, yeah, we looked at that already. Okay, there are a couple other pairs I wanted to check out. We'll remove Euro Swiss. Excuse me. And just updating this list. Only allow 20 symbols, which is a little disappointing, a little annoying. So I never counted how many currency pairs I looked through. I don't know, it must be like 30 or 40, I guess. Probably not 30. I thought it was it's 25, I'd say. Were the ones I just added. Aussie CAD. Oh, we had that. Aussie Kiwi. Okay. This is another one. We know we don't have support and resistance, so if we draw our Fibonacci, going back to here. Yeah, so in these scenarios, where there's no clear support and resistance, that means the market can just move pretty quickly. So I'd like to see it at least pull back to the 50 simple moving average. This type of pullback is pretty steep. It may require a lot of patience to get to. And it may signal, we may find out that as it pulls back to this level, it may actually be beneath, the price may be above the moving averages and maybe time to go long. That's fine. Reevaluate this as it comes. But for now, it's just a matter of waiting for some type of pullback. Aussie Swiss, same scenario here, really. So lots of waiting for pullbacks. Counter trend traders may appreciate it. That's something that I often think about doing when I see situations like this, where it seems like the majority of pairs I'm just waiting. But trend trading really suits my personality well, so I want to make sure that I get the best as I can at this before really, moving on to a different, or adding that component to my skill set. So take off these two. dollar, Singapore dollar. If you follow my trading on Informed Trades, USD SGD is a pair I really like. New Zealand dollar. And I think that, oh, there's, let's take off pound yen. There we go, and this should be it. I should develop a master list of pairs I'm looking at. That would make things a little smoother. Yen. Okay. New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. This was a position I just got stopped out on, actually, at break even. So no real opportunity here yet. We have this big red candle, maybe a short opportunity coming up, but we'll see. At this point, this is a wait and see. Definitely return to this tomorrow. US dollar, Singapore dollar. This is just going in an uptrend. What would be a Fibonacci? Let's actually look at that first in this instance. And yeah, okay, so I still think, or I think we didn't really get the pullback needed to go long. Yeah, I would really want to see, you know, I pullback to support is that's the really the preferred indicator I'd like to see. So if there's multiple Fibonacci levels that coincide with one support level, I'm going to give credence to the support level. Fibonacci is a secondary indicator. I try to signal that with thinner lines that are dotted, whereas a thick black line goes for horizontal support. So that's what we see on dollar Singapore. Nothing really yet. Euro New Zealand. And nothing, right? This is just, looks like it's a reversal, you know, reversal. Counter trend traders may find an opportunity here. And I know for many, if you're new to trading and you're seeing this, you may be thinking to yourself, well, why don't I just trade, you know, counter trend? You know, we obviously have a lot of material on this on Informed Trades. The trends enable you to go for bigger winners by taking less risk, you know, higher risk reward ratio, put it another way. So that's really the opportunity I'm looking for. So, you know, this is still in a bullish trend. You know, price is above the moving averages. It's not that great of a trend. You know, if it were to pull back to maybe here, pull back to, like, let's say here, then it may be interesting. You know, but then at that point, it may be interesting as a bearish opportunity. We'll see. So at this point, you know, not the clearest, not the strongest of trends. So not really that compelling of an opportunity. As a trader, I really like to go for opportunities that I'm excited for. I'm not interested in chasing. And if there are no opportunities, as is the case with today, and has been the case for my trading approach the past couple days, that's fine. You know, just wait. Because if you go after a trade that's not really a good one, and you end up losing money, well, that's clearly the worst outcome, or the, you know, not preferable. We're looking to minimize the number of losers and see it as a cost of business of finding the winners. So that's about it. Went through the currency review. You see, and this is basically my approach. I do this every day. It took about 45 minutes, and that's about it. Now I don't really need to look at the trades. I do have a euro pound trade on, which I'm short, you know, so it's going in my favor. And I may check in on this later in the day in my own personal, you know, as I'm going about the day, check on my phone. But that's about it. I don't really need to do anything else. This is my approach, or based on how I do things. And we'll go through this every day, just the daily chart review. If you're new to trading, or if you're still finding your method, you know, a lot of it is just about putting in your chart time. So I encourage you to put in your chart time with me, review the charts with me, see how I'm approaching things. And of course, if you have any questions, you can join us on informedtrades.com. Thanks and best of luck in your trading.